Ayan. Hi everyone, good evening. Ayan, take two. So good evening everyone. So thank you for joining us tonight. And again, we are at our third season of our inspirational interview series. And kita pa rin pala yung mga damit ng mga anak ko. Wait lang. Ayan. Okay. So, it's our third season. And would you believe it's already August? Grabe. August 1 na pala today, no? So, I'm very glad that we're actually starting this series today, which is the first day of August. And basically, the purpose of this interview series is to be able to celebrate lives, celebrate wins, and celebrate journeys of people who are successful in the e-commerce space. Now, if in case their business is not fully doing e-com, but in a way, it's still related to e-commerce. So basically, it's about celebrating wins, lives, and journeys of people who are doing business. And why are we doing this? Of course, first of all, to be able to encourage those that would want to start um, their business venture. And I think, now is really a good time to start before mag Q4 since, usually Q4 is always the peak of any business. Though of course last year it was a bit different, no, because of the pandemic. So we're not really exactly sure as to how things would be for this year. But oftentimes, Q4 is always the peak season. So it's always good to start by quarter 3 in preparation for possible bulk of orders for Q4. So that's one is to be able to, if you're thinking of should I do online business or no, should I start a business or not. So basically the first one is to encourage you to start and to start now. Second, if you've been in the business for quite a while, and say you're experiencing challenges and stuff like that, to encourage you to keep on going. If you had a chance to watch any of our previous episodes since May, one of the things that all our guests had in common is that everyone experienced challenges. Wala pong super saiyan na hindi nakaka-experience ng challenges, difficulties, whatsoever. Everyone experienced the challenges. So if you are experiencing one now, I hope that our story for today would be able to encourage you to keep on going. And of course, be able to celebrate the lives of these people who had a really good journey, had a very colorful story, and they're willing to share what they went through with you to be able to inspire you. And of course, lastly, to be able to spread good vibes dahil napakadami pong negative sa mundo. And one of the reasons why we're doing this is to simply be able to spread good vibes because it's always good to hear stories, diba? Stories of people. And since we're in the e-commerce space, they're the backstory behind the success. Because oftentimes, we are just blindsided by the success of people. And if we know that someone is successful, we often think that, okay, it's easy for me to do business because it's easy. And then once we experience the challenges, ayaw na natin. And that's one reason why I encourage these business owners to share their story so that you know what you would be if you do business, or if you start to do business, you would know what are the potential risks, what are the potential things that you would experience or go through if in case you start a business. So we're very fortunate with our guest tonight. So this is one of the silent people, no? Hindi siya masyado ganun kaingay. But if I'm not mistaken, I think he has a new office, and they had a blessing yesterday. Nakita ko lang sa Facebook feed niya. So i-confirm natin sa kanya today. But really, diba, despite the pandemic, diba, a lot of people are having challenges, diba? But you see these business owners are opening up new offices, probably moving to a bigger space, and that only means, diba, that they're doing something right, and that's why we're very excited to hear their story. So, good evening, Nathan. How are you tonight?
So, hi ma'am, good evening. Finally, natuloy na.
Oo nga, 'di ba? More than 1 month ang
Yes.
ating hinintay. But I think a lot of things has happened with your business as well.
Yes, ma'am.
During the time that we didn't have the chance to talk and go through with this interview. So
Mm.
tama ba ako? Is it a new office or a bigger space for your office? Yung blessing ba 'yon yung
Yes, ma'am.
kahapon?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, second office na namin siya. Kasi
Oh, 'di
wala
ba?
kaming original office, no. Nag-extension pa kami kasi nga nag-expand pa kami. So nag-hire pa talaga ako ng tao. Pinili talaga namin siya kahapon matuloy. Kasi nga August, so ghost month. So
Oo.
kailangan natin habulin.
Yes.
Sabi kasi nila medyo negative yung gano'n. So tinuloy namin talaga kahit na
Oo.
hindi pa masyado siyang tapos, ongoing pa rin siya.
Oo.
So, tinuloy
At
namin.
least bago pumasok yung ghost month, ano
Yes.
na, move to a new office na. Okay, that's good. So guys, hindi lang siya basta new office. It's already an extension of the office that they currently have. And for those, baka interested kayo, sabi ni Nathan, nag-ano po sila, hiring po sila, diba? Kulang pa sila sa tao.
Yes.
So yeah, so I'm very excited, and again, I'm very thankful for sparing your time with me. So my very first question for you, Nathan, is who was Nathan bago ka naging business owner?
So, okay. So, actually, hindi ko talaga in-expect na magiging business owner ako. Kasi nung bata ako, talagang ang pangarap ko talaga is maging piloto. So, yun talaga kasi yung
Oh,
gusto ko
wow.
eh. Gusto ko makapag-drive ng aeroplano, parang ganun. So,
Mm.
since nung nag-college na ako, na bagong lahat, hindi na tuloy maging piloto, doon na nag-start yung engineer ako, kumbaga. So, yung nag-college ako, doon na ako napaisip na kung ano ba talaga yung gusto ko. Kasi nga, since nung pagkabata ko, hindi naman natuloy yung pagiging gusto kong piloto, napunta naman ako sa engineering. So, sabi ko, ano ba talagang gusto ko? Nung college na naisip ko. So, napaisip ako na gusto ko nga rin maging business owner. Pero hindi ko
Mm.
akalain na pupunta ako. Since nga engineering ako, gusto ko magkaroon ng sarili kong construction firm
Mm.
in the near future. Pero hindi siya natuloy. Dito talaga ako pinunta sa pagiging online seller, online selling. So hindi ko
So,
talaga expect na mapupunta ako sa pagiging sa e-commerce industry.
okay. Interesting. So with that, how, why, and when ka naman napasok ng e-commerce?
Okay. So nag-start talaga yung yung e-commerce journey ko during nung empleyado pa ako. Kasi meron akong colleague na nag-i-e-com siya. Pinapakita niya sa akin yung Shopify niya. Nagugulat ako, ang ganda ng metrics. Hindi ako naniniwala kasi sabi ko baka mamaya,
Ah.
parang networking, ganun.
Ah.
Ganun. So, na-inspire ako, sabi ko, ano ba talaga yan? So, nagkaroon ng one time, sinama niya ako. Talagang gusto ko talagang interesado ako kasi gusto ko na rin magkaroon ng talagang time freedom eh. Kasi yun talaga kasi as empleyado, gusto mo magkaroon ng sarili mong oras. So, sinama niya ako sa
Right.
Divisoria. Doon niya akin pinakita kung paano siya umorder in bulk. Nakita ko siya, umorder siya ng ganito. Sabi ko, kung umorder siya ng ganito, maybe totoo nga talaga yung pinapakita niya sa akin na metrics niya. So doon ako nagkaroon ng idea sa isip ko, ano ba talaga yung ginagawa niya? Ano ba yung sinasabi niya ganito, ganyan. Nag-resign siya. Nung nag-resign siya, doon na nag-start. Nag-research na ako.
Mm.
Sumali ako sa mga Facebook group, yung ojMD group natin,
Mm.
Philippine e-commerce. Nagtanong-tanong na ako doon, sumilip ako ng mga pre-YouTube. So doon ako nag-start hanggang sa yun, up to now. Ngayon, nag-start ako ng free, tapos during learning phase ko, doon ako nag-start ng mga paid trainings para mas may lab, para mas maano ko pa, ma-expand ko pa yung knowledge ko.
So anong year 'yon nung nag-start ka ng e-com?
Nag-start ako by 2019. Tapos talaga nag-full na ako na maging sa e-commerce nung by 2020. Nag-resign na ako kasi nung nakita ko kasi yung time na ginagawa ko pa lang si e-commerce during boosting pa lang nun kasi nga wala talaga akong idea, boosting pa talaga ako nun eh. So nung
Right.
nagbo-boosting ako, nakikita ko na natatapatan niya na yung salary ko. Doon ako nag-decide na kung natatapatan niya na, kung mag full-time ako dito, what more? Baka higitan niya pa. So doon ako nag-decide
Right.
na resign na talaga and then do full-time na talaga sa e-commerce.
Correct. So since you mentioned that you did full-time, so nag-resign ka 2020. What month ka resign from your
January 2020.
other job? So before the pandemic.
Yes, before the pandemic. Yes.
Okay.
Pero
So since sorry, sige, go on. You were saying.
okay. Pero nag-ano na talaga ako by 2019 talaga, 1 year na talaga ako nag-i-e-com bago ako nag full-time ng 2020. So ngayon kasi by 2021, pan 3 years ko na during e-com talaga.
Okay. So since you resigned January and then pandemic hit us March, was your business then affected by the pandemic?
Actually, yes. Lahat naman siguro. Kasi nung start nung ECQ, lahat kahit
Mm.
e-commerce, patay tayo ng ads talaga nun lahat eh. So, ang
Yes.
ginawa natin nun, syempre, kailangan natin dumiskarte. Lumipat tayo sa international market. Lumipat ako nun,
Mm.
nag-international market din ako nun. Kaso hindi rin ako pinalad, lost din ako. And then nung nag-i-start nang bumalik tayo sa lumuluwag na naging GCQ na, MECQ, doon na
Ah,
nag-start yung pagbangon. Doon na nag-start. Kasi yung baba ng mga CPM pa nun kasi lahat takot pa
right.
mag-ads eh. So doon ako
Correct.
naka-spike. Then yung 2021, yung talaga nag-full talaga na kami ng full blast na talaga kami sa e-com. Ito na talaga yung pinaka-spike namin, 2021.
This year. So kumbaga parang this year talaga yung full blast. But still no, I mean, just like what you shared, right? I mean, and you are correct. Everyone was really affected, especially nung unang first few weeks ng ECQ because of course definitely one, it was a first for everybody, 'di ba? No one expected that such situation would happen. Second, no one expected that it was gonna take that long. At the same time, walang courier
Yes,
ang
tama.
I mean, other than the courier, before the courier pala, there was no access to supplies. Yun muna pala, walang access to supplies. And then, si courier naman, couriers were very strict when it comes to items that you can only have them deliver. Kasi 'di ba parang there were a couple of weeks na yung mga pang PPE lang or yung mga ano bang tawag
Yes.
doon, yung ano ba tawag doon? May tawag doon yung mga essentials
Uh,
ba? Ayun, only
Essentials.
essentials were allowed to be delivered. Ayan. And what I admire with what you said, what I admired with what you said is, diba, despite the pandemic, despite the challenges that we had here, what you did instead is you shifted to the international market just so that business would continue. And then,
Yes.
so, how long ka nag-international? And then, anong month ka bumalik ulit doing your local business?
Actually, nag-start ako nung international, yung talagang start na nung ECQ eh. At, March yata yun, by
Mm.
February. So, bumalik ako by June or July. Yun medyo nagluluwag na kasi 3 months yata yung ECQ natin nun eh. So, doon ako bumalik ng
Mm.
local. Yan.
Right. Okay. So, Given those struggles, so kumbaga, so does it mean na nung time na medyo maluwag na and bumalik ka na sa local, how would you compare the sales or orders that you were generating during that time versus nung time na nagkaka-full time mo lang, which is January? Would you say that the orders were the same, lower, or it was higher?
Actually, na-overwhelm kami nung pagbalik namin ng local from international. Kasi nga, nagulat kami, ang dami. Sobrang, siguro dahil nga yung tao, nag-ship na talaga sila into online shopping. So kaya talagang dumami yung orders namin that time. So nung by June nakaka 200 parcel kami. By at the end of
Mm,
every month na dumarating, pataas siya ng pataas. So doon namin na feel na siguro nagshi-ship na talaga yung tao into online shopping.
yes.
So kaya tinake namin yung opportunity talaga.
Yes, that's good. And then, if you would compare, kasi sabi mo nga, di ba, this year talaga yung scaling nyo. So, on an average, say from the time that everything went back to sort of normal when it comes to running business last year. Sabihin na natin, from June to December, what was your average order per day compared to the or number of orders that you have now? Since this year kayo nag-scale.
Actually, from June to December, na last year, no? Last year talagang siguro ang per month namin is below 1,000. Pero kasi
Mm.
ngayon nag-average na kami ng per month namin is 5,000 to 4,000 parcels a month.
Wow.
Talagang nag-range.
Wow. Really good, no? And so did you start as a one-man team or did you already have a team with you when you were starting?
Actually, nag-start ako ng one-man team talaga. So mag-isa lang muna talaga ako noon. As in, kahit sa knowledge ko, sa lahat, sa pagbibili ng stocks, lahat. So lahat yun, ako talaga. Minsan nga ako pa mismo nag-deliver pag Metro Manila eh. Dati nung nag-start ako. So yun, para lang makalis ng mga courier.
And then, ngayon, ilan na ang staff mo?
Sa ngayon, 15 na kami and then dapat sana mag-hire pa kami kaso nga magla-lockdown. So pinospone
Oo
na lang
nga.
muna namin. Pag after ng lockdown, doon na kami magmamas hiring pa.
Oo. And would you say na given that, 'di ba, kumbaga parang kasi 'di ba last year we thought that COVID will be done or would be gone this year, but apparently not, 'di ba? Kumbaga
Yes.
some cases are even worse this year. And kumbaga technically this is the second time that we will experience a lockdown for
Yes.
this year, correct? Kasi 'di ba Holy Week there was a lockdown and then now another lockdown. So given na, would you say na mas flexible ka na ba when it comes to coping up with COVID and your business? And what I mean by that is, because unlike last year, diba, since
Yes.
everything was new for us, lockdown, nobody knew what to do, nobody knew how long it would take. Tapos nag-MCQ, GCQ, pero walang lockdown after. Pero this year, yun nga, kumbaga merong second lockdown. Medyo mas flexible ka na ba? And are you able to make better and wiser decisions on how to blend in with the situation with your business?
So yes, so since na-experience na natin dati yung ECQ, yung lockdown, so kami, naisip ko with my team na tuloy pa rin yung operations namin. So yun nga, nag-come up kami na magkakaroon na lang kami ng stay-in na lang muna sila kung di sila makakapasok. Mag-overstocking na kami by this week. Tapos talaga yung preparation namin is para sa buong 2 weeks na magla-lockdown. Kumbaga dapat hindi maapektuhan yung business, tuloy-tuloy lang siya. Kasi ang
Right.
naalala lang namin is si courier eh. Pero dun nga
Correct.
nag-inform sa courier na tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman sila. Hindi sila affected
Correct.
since essential. So tuloy pa rin yung business.
Yes. Right. That's good, no? Kumbaga parang, I think one of the things that we business owners really need to keep in mind is we cannot, parang let's not wait for COVID to be done or to be over before we plan out, about our business. I think since it's the new normal, the best way to really deal with it is accept the fact that COVID will always be there. Parang ako, as a,
Yes.
what I always tell entrepreneurs, RTS, 'di ba? Kahit anong gawin natin, RTS will always be there. As long as you are offering cash on delivery payment option, RTS will always be a fact and it will always be a part of your life. But kumbaga, you just see there are things that you can do to make sure that the RTS will be controlled. Kasi there are some entrepreneurs, especially the new ones, pag RTS pa lang parang napapanic mode na agad, hindi na agad
Yes.
alam gagawin, marinig pa lang RTS, feeling nila lost agad. But the thing is, it is a part of the business since you are offering cash on delivery. So it's the same with it's the same with COVID and with the pandemic. Kumbaga parang we just need to accept the fact that COVID will always be there. Situations like this where lockdowns will happen from time to time. And ano bang difficulties pag lockdown? Supplies, um, kung yun nga, yung si courier, kung makakapag-deliver ba or not. Delays, definitely on the delivery since maraming mga area na strict, may mga kanya-kanyang strict policy. So, kumbaga parang just making COVID part of your business and just basically coming up with strategies on how to deal with it so that the business will not be affected. Have you ever had any staff or employees na nag-positive?
Actually, wala pa naman talaga. Wala pa.
That's good.
So, thankful naman kami
That's
doon. Wala
good.
pa talaga.
Oo, that's good kasi there are some people who I know na may mga staff na naaapektuhan or nagpa-positive and usually it's because of
Yes.
the parcels na dumadating. So yun lang, kumbaga we just also need to add precautionary measures when it comes to making sure that our staff are safe, especially when it comes to potentially getting affected. Kasi like, I think some of the things that, kasi I think, di ba tama ba ako, merong bago na namang variant, di ba? So that means COVID will stay there forever. So other than strategies for the business, at the same time, also making, following protocols to make sure that our staff, or especially you, no? Especially
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
na hindi magiging positive ng COVID. Kasi ang mahirap niyan if sometimes if one staff is affected, there's a possibility that
Yes.
especially
Awa
if
na.
they stay in one place, 'di ba? Tama, hawa-hawa talaga. And other than your production or productivity will be affected,
Yes.
it's also gonna be an additional cost on your end. I mean, we're fortunate that the government or yung mga diba, they provide free vaccine and stuff like
Yes.
that. But at the same time, we also need to be careful. Like very important yung sanitizing and all, making sure that the area is also clean and all. Okay. So that's good to know. So given that, or I'm not done. Um, so how has being an entrepreneur affected your life as a whole?
So, nabago talaga yung pagiging ako nung naging entrepreneur ako eh. Kasi dati parang as a empleyado ko, kapag salary, gastos agad, bili ako ng ganito.
Right.
Pero naging entrepreneur ako, parang naiisip ko na eh. So, kung bibiling ko to, edi expand ko na lang. Parang gano'n. Kasi kaya rin inisip din namin ng partner ko na hindi kami talagang mag-ano sa profit. So, ang ginawa namin is pinapasahod lang din kami ng company. Kasi kapag
Right.
inisip namin kasi karaniwan kasing ginagawa ng iba based na sa experience sa mga sharing sa group natin is sila agad is bili agad ng ganito, ganyan. So kami
Yes.
nagkaroon expansion. So yun yung naging
Yes.
naging apekto sa akin ng pagiging entrepreneur ko. Mas naisip ko na kung ano yung halaga ng bawat bagay-bagay talaga. Naging mas
Yes.
mature, kumbaga.
That's good. I mean, that's good na. Kumbaga parang what you're prioritizing on is the expansion of the business rather than spending for personal gain. Kasi I think that's one of the um, I wouldn't say mistake, no. I think it's more of a case to case basis naman na it depends on how well you handle your cash flow. I think it's more of that. It's how well you handle your cash flow. However, yun nga, majority of I think one reasons for downfall for some entrepreneurs is that instead of thinking of saving or thinking of expansion, parang ang mas naiisip yung okay, bibili ako ng ganito, bibili ako ng bagong phone, bibili akong bahay, bibili akong bagong sasakyan na hindi nakakalculate yung potential risks when it comes to kaya ba talaga. 'Di ba? Kasi if we don't monitor our cash flows in a granularly talaga ha. Kasi 'di ba like we get a remittance from couriers weekly, and when we get it, it's a lump sum of money. And if you don't really monitor your ins and outs when it comes to the cash flow, ang dating is you have a lot of money that you can use for spending.
Yes.
'Di ba? Kumbaga kung hindi mo fina-factor in everything. But I think that's better, no? Kumbaga parang yung tiis-tiis lang ba muna sa umpisa, 'di ba? And then after that, kasi marami namang ganun eh, yung talagang titiis lang muna nila sa umpisa kasi kumbaga they focus on expanding the business. Talagang gusto lang muna nila na stable in everything. And then, pag medyo may comfort level na sila, that's the time na, okay, now is the time for me to indulge on myself. Okay, pagbibigyan ko naman yung sarili ko. Or yung iba naman, um, say for example, they would keep a small portion of what they gain, iipunin muna nila yon, and then from there, okay, ito yung pwede kong gastusin ko for personal expenses na medyo pagka parang pinag-iipunan muna. I think that's really good kasi yun talaga yung isa na I think na problem if the entrepreneur is not too keen when it comes to their finances. And pag ganun, sayang kasi
Sayang.
pag masyadong inuna ang pagbili-bili ng mga personal stuff tapos hindi na monitor yung cash flow, tendency is walang kinikita na may utang pa. So, kumbaga parang ang nagiging ending, nasa-sacrifice yung business na darating yung point na ay hindi na kaya masustain. Sayang yung pinaghirapan. So that's really good. Um, what motivates you, Nathan?
Nagmo-motivate sa akin kung talaga yung ano eh. Kung dati ang inisip ko, yung goal ko, yung dream ko, although part pa rin siya ngayon, pero talagang pinaka nagmo-motivate sa akin kung ano yung purpose ko na eh. Kung ano yung purpose mo na talaga, bakit mo ginagawa to? Is about profit na lang ba talaga or para makatulong ka sa iba? So, ganun. Kasi inisip ko lagi yung ano eh, kung paano, at the same time, yes, gusto natin kumita, pero at the same time, gusto rin makatulong sa iba. So, yun kasi yung pinaka-purpose na inisip ko palagi. Kasi yun nga, makapagbigay ng trabaho, makapag-provide sa pamilya. So, yun yung mga nag-inspire sa akin.
That's right. On an average, how many hours do you work a day or a week?
Actually, as in whole day, parang ganun yung trabaho ko eh. Walang definite time eh. At least, siguro mga
Yes.
16 hours a day. So, ganun. Kasi hindi ko na nakukumpleto yung 8 hours a day talaga natulog eh. Pero,
Parang ganyan naman tayo eh. Ang tulog natin installment.
Ang installment eh. So, ang ginagawa ko, ganun na lang. Siguro pagdating ng time, since nga nag-expand naman kami, yun, babaguhin ko na yung lifestyle ko para na rin yung health ko is hindi rin mapabayaan.
Oo. I think gano'n naman talaga sa umpisa. And since kumbaga parang you're currently at a phase where nasa expansion yung business, so medyo ganun pa talaga. But time will come, 'di ba? Kumbaga parang since you're already on the expand, I mean, kumbaga well, it depends on ano yung goal mo when it comes to expansion, 'di ba?
Yeah.
But kumbaga parang I think you would definitely reach a point naman of stability when it comes to being able to manage your time wisely already. Kasi technically, di ba, as an entrepreneur, di ba, parang sabi nga nila, you want to quit your 9 to 5 job, but you don't know that once you are in business, technically you are working almost 24 hours a day, especially with us, no, with e-commerce entrepreneurs na especially for those who's running Facebook ads. Usually, pag nagra-run ng Facebook ads, gisingin sa gabi hanggang madaling araw. Or depending on how you monitor your ads and all. But yun nga yung sabi ko na, though ang difference sa atin is hindi ganun kadiretso yung tulog kasi I mean nakakabuo naman siguro ng 8 hours I would say in sleep or at least 6 to 8 hours. Yun nga lang installment basis siya. Parang it's somewhere within the day. Hindi siya ganun ka straight. But time will come na pag medyo stable na, nare-reach, alam mo na nandun, nare-reach mo na yung goal mo, kaya mo nang mas i-manage yung time mo wisely. And I think siguro what you know, just work on your time management at least as early as now so that hindi mo, kasi 'di ba some would say na I'm in business, I'm working this much. But at least regardless if you're doing that number of hours a day, it's not something dragging that you feel. Kasi kumbaga parang it's more of this is just how my time clock works. Kasi technically, you can still do a lot of things pa naman, di ba? Like, an advantage for us, well, I know travel is not a leisure now because of the pandemic, but one of our advantages is we can work anywhere as long as there's internet, di ba? And ikaw, you have a staff naman. Unlike before, it was just you doing everything. Now, you have people who work for you. So, kumbaga, parang technically, there is more time for you. And time for you is very important because you are the brains of your company, 'di ba? Before kasi you were everything. You were the brain, you were the hand, you were the heart, so on and so forth. So now you can actually delegate all the other things and stay as the brain of the company. But as the brain, of course, hindi ka dapat ano, what do you call this? You should also be able to um, provide ano man tawag dito, kung sa relationship, 'di ba, may tinatawag na self-love.
Yes.
Parang 'di ba, parang sabi nila for a relationship to work, hindi pwedeng sobrang mahal mo yung other party. Kumbaga parang you need to love yourself more because the more that you love yourself, the more that you exude love for the other person and that would help make the relationship grow. So parang it's the same thing. It's like you need to be able to love yourself so that your business will be you will be able to sustain your business better. Kasi what if you get sick, 'di ba? What if you get sick or what if you get exhausted, 'di ba? May mga ganyan. Though you good with you because you mentioned you have a partner. Kasi 'di ba network in our industry, network is also very important because without the network, you know, there would always be times na hindi naman tayo laging highs, di ba? There are times na we experience challenges, we don't know how to go about it. And if we don't have people who we can talk to or ask advices from, it's hard, lalo na kung sinasarili natin. So that's why it's also good to be able to manage your time so that you can do more for yourself because the more, since 'di ba sabi mo na kumbaga parang one of the things that you want to be able to accomplish is to be able to provide jobs and the only way that you can do that is unless your business becomes stable and your business grows more, but at the same time what will help you do that is by you providing more love and pampering yourself. Ayan. Ang dami ko na sinabi. What um what would be your best advice for those people who would want to start having an online business?
Siguro ma-advise ko sa mga mag-i-start is first, wag lang basta kayo ma-hype sa mga nakikita nyo. Kumbaga, ganito, yung ganun. First siguro, mag-explore muna kayo, mag-research muna kayo bago kayo mag-start ng online business. Much better kung makahanap kayo ng mentor ninyo na nandoon na talaga sa industry para may kahit papaano meron kayong inspiration at meron may mag-guide sa inyo. Kasi meron kasi akong nakikita ng mga nag-share na Parang na-hype lang sila, tapos
Yes.
bigla na lang mag-a-ads, tapos nang walang idea, tapos yung pala, lost na sila. So,
Ah,
much better na mag-research talaga muna kayo. If kaya na ng budget, mas maganda mag-training kayo. Kasi iba yung learnings nun eh. Kasi natututo ka sa mga mistakes nila and experience eh. So,
correct.
iba yung kumaga sasaba ka sa gera ng may bala ka kaysa sa wala kang idea kung ano yung pinapasok mo. So, yun. Best is research and then hanap kayo ng mentor ninyo.
Yes, that's right. I think though hindi naman natin masisisi if there are some people who would hype things, no. Kumbaga parang though yun nga, kumbaga parang the thing is some start or wanted to start a business. Parang yun yung sabi ko kanina, 'di ba, sa intro ko na if we know that someone is successful, we're blindsided by the success. But we
Yes.
don't know the backstory. Parang ganun eh, 'di ba? Kasi kung alam mo na okay, kung kunyari si ganito nagpo-post ng ganito or na si nagpo-post ng parcels, 'di ba? So
Yes.
we're blinded with the success because we see that this is the number of parcels that this person is generating. So
Yeah.
for some beginners, they think na okay, sobrang dali. Sobrang dali, and then yun nga, they would go for it, and then once they experience the challenge na parang ay ang hirap pala, ayoko na, sayang, 'di ba? And yes, I completely agree na, 'di ba? Though Nathan mentioned kanina that he started with free trainings, 'di ba, that you get from YouTube, ganyan and all.
Yes.
I mean, it's good that kung masipag po kayo mag-research, definitely YouTube is a very good tool. However, ang problem lang kasi sa YouTube, ang daming masyadong mentor na hindi mo naman alam kung sino ba yung, kasi minsan iba-iba din yung sinasabi. So hindi mo naman sure kung sino ba yung susundan mo. Pero 'di ba, usually when we watch videos from YouTube, we always check the number of views or the number of subscribers
Yes.
of the person. Kung masipag po kayo mag-research, no problem. Definitely you can start by just getting free content from YouTube or from Google, 'di ba? Madaming free content dyan. But as what Nathan mentioned, if you want to be able to speed up your learning, and kung kaya naman, 'di ba? Meron namang mga mentor na hindi naman ganun kamahalan. Pero mag-iingat pa din, ha? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng nag-o-offer ng training are highly reliable, because there are also some people who, just want to earn money by teaching kuno, pero hindi naman talaga, you know, um, legit. Or meron din namang mga legit, 'di ba? Pero be careful. Still do your research when if you do paid trainings naman, do your research when it comes to who the mentors are, who the teachers are. And one of the things that I highly recommend is go for teachers or go for mentors who would teach you what they do. Hindi yung mga theory-based. Kasi kung theory-based yung mga yan, nakuha lang nila yan sa YouTube or natutunan lang nila yan from somewhere else. It's different if you get a mentor who teaches you what they do exactly. Tapos yung sabi nga ni Nathan na they will teach you yung, or not teach, i-share nila sa inyo yung mga naging mistakes nila para hindi nyo na yun
Experience.
gawin. And kumbaga that's the reason why your learning process would speed up, kasi since nasabi na nila sa'yo, kumbaga one, shinare nila sa'yo kung ano yung ginagawa nila, two, sasabihin nila sa'yo kung ano yung mga ginawa nila na mali. So, hindi mo na siya dapat gawin. Oo. So, yun nga, kung kaya naman ng budget, go for mentors na teaches based on their personal experience. So, no,
Yes.
walang problem pong mag-ask around. Kung kayo ipapasok sa negosyo, wag na wag kayong mahihiyang magtanong. 'di ba? Minsan kasi madaming shy, masyadong shy, ayaw magtanong. Ang online business po ay isang seryosong negosyo. Hindi po 'yan hindi 'yan basta-basta parang affiliate whatever lang, 'di ba? Anything that you would invest money on is a real business. So, and kahit kahit sino naman siguro na papasok sa kahit anong negosyo, it's always good to ask around, especially if it will involve say trainings or paid trainings by mentors. Tapos kung hindi niyo naman masyado kilala. Kasi may mga iba, nakikita ko yung mga nagbebenta ng mga compilation ba ng mga international courses. Parang kino-compile lang ba nila? Tapos, pero magagaling sa marketing eh. Magagaling sa marketing eh.
Yes.
Nag-ads, tapos sa ads may mga testimonial pa na parang this training helped me. But in reality, it's just, RB, I'm not done. In reality, it's just a compilation of, RB, mamaya ka na dito. It's just a compilation of, close the door. It's just a compilation of courses that they put together. Kasi there was a time na, lalo na nung pandemic, ang mumura ng mga ng mga international courses, tapos nakabenta pa ng mga bundle. So, tinake advantage, nabebenta ng, I think, may iba binibenta lang 500 ata. Diba? Imagine kung diba, na nakakaano lang, nakakasad, diba? Kasi yun nga, ang problema din kasi sino ba namang hindi mahahype, diba? Kung sa halagang 500 at makita mo na ito yung results na pwede mo makuha. Kaya yun nga yung sinasabi ko na ang gagaling sa marketing. In all fairness, diba? Ang gagaling sa marketing. Sana tinuro na lang kung ano yung style nila compared sa nagbenta ng online courses. Ayan. So, who has been your greatest inspiration, Nathan?
My greatest inspiration talaga is, yun nga, since hindi naman kami galing sa family na talagang angat sa buhay, yung inspiration ko talaga is family ko. Kasi para yun nga, magkaroon kami ng yun nga, makakaon kami sa hirap ng buhay, masustain namin yung pangailangan namin, and then at the same time makatulong sa kapwa namin. So, yun yung mga inspiration ko. So, yung family ko at yung mga taong pwede kong at possible kong na matulungan pa.
That's good. So, talagang ako naniniwala talaga ako na a person's past does not define their future. 'Di ba? Kasi usually ang napapansin ko yung mga success, I mean, I could be wrong, no? But most of the time yung mga may hardships talaga na na-experience in the past or like sa family. Talagang iba yung pagiging perseguido when it comes to parang life would be better, 'di ba? I will make things better for me and for my family. So, it doesn't really matter what your background is. Kaya ako naniniwala ako na even kahit siguro yung pinakamahirap na tao, kaya maging presidente ng Pilipinas. Diba?
Yes,
it all depends on yun nga, yung pagiging porsigido ng isang tao. Kumbaga parang daig ng taong porsigido ang taong matalino. Diba?
Yes, tama.
Diba? Kasi there are some people na they're very fortunate when it comes to education. They're very fortunate that, they have a family who can help, can provide them whatever they want. But oftentimes, majority, I would say, majority of the known entrepreneurs na talagang successful did not come from a well-off family. Majority, not all, majority. And I think it's yun nga, parang it's because of your experience na, because since this is what you experienced in the past, or this is what you had, that you wanted a better future for yourself, for your future family, and for your own family. So that's good.
Yes.
What would you say are the top 3 skills needed to be a successful business owner?
Siguro yung first skills is kailangan determinado ka. Kasi wag kang panihinaan ng loob eh, kumbaga. Kasi may mga times kasi na mag-i-start ka ng business. Tapos pag start mo pa lang, medyo nakikita mo na hindi siya talaga okay,
Right.
mag-give up ka na. So dapat yung
Correct.
determination may stand doon. So then second skills na dapat ng entrepreneur is wag kang matakot mag-take risk. So take risk lang kasi lahat naman talaga ng business may risk yan eh. Di natin
Correct.
masasabi yung guaranteed successful sa business eh. So take risk lang palagi. And then the third skills na kailangan ng isang successful entrepreneur is first determination, second is the
Risk.
first is determination, second is the take risk.
Risk. Mm-mm.
Yes, and then the third siguro is yung dapat always ano lang eh, parang look for look for consistency kung ano yung ginagawa mo. Kasi may times kasi na parang nabuburyo ka na parang paulit-ulit na lang, nakakalimutan mo na hindi ka na pala consistent sa ginagawa mo. Kumbaga hindi na yung yung growth mo nandoon na lang, hindi na nag-grow. Kumbaga hindi ka na nag-expand. So dapat
Right.
yung consistency ng kung ano yung purpose mo, bakit mo ini-start to, dapat kahit na-achieve mo na siya, consistent ka pa rin. Kumbaga nandun pa rin yung strive mo, yung gigil mo. Kumbaga
Yes.
tuloy-tuloy pa rin siya. Yun. Ayun,
That's right.
determination,
That's right.
consistency.
Yes. And risk, yung pagiging risk taker is really important, no? I mean, I think ang unang-unang lumalabas ang pagiging risk taker ng isang business owner is sa spending. Lalo na
Yes.
pagdating sa ads, 'di ba?
So,
Kasi may mga tao nagtataka sila na bakit si ganito yung orders na nakukuha compared sa kanila. It
yes.
only equates to, 'di ba, when it comes to ads, the more that you spend on ads, the more orders that you get. Do not compare yourself to someone who say spending 50,000 pesos a day in running an ad to someone who's spending say 5,000. 'Di ba? Kung si 5,000 nag-generate ng 10 sales, sabihin natin si 5,000 nag-generate ng say 20 sales. At si 50K nag-generate ng 200. 'Di ba? Si 5K, wag siyang mag-expect ng 50 and wag niya masyadong i-compare yung sarili niya kay 50K kasi iba yung ini-spend nila sa sa ads. So 'di ba ganun din siya when it comes to marketing, the more that you spend on your ads and if your ads are doing well, expect more orders. But kung yung risk appetite pagdating sa spending sa ads ay hindi ganun kalakas, medyo tatagal din yung pag-increase din ng orders nyo. So, ano din siya, it comes hand in hand also. So, that's
Yes.
why taking risk is very important. That's nice. Um, is there any part of your life experience that you would change if you had the chance to?
Ano ba? Siguro, wala akong maisip eh. Kasi parang wala eh. Kasi kung ano ako ngayon, ito talaga siya eh. Feeling ko binigay talaga
Yes.
siya, kailangan ko talaga siyang pagdaanan eh. Kung ano yung pagsubok na yun, kailangan ko
Yes.
talagang lampasan eh. So, kaya wala akong biglang maisip kung ano yung dapat kong baguhin eh. Kasi kung may dapat akong baguhin, siguro hindi ako mas magiging matatag today kung hindi ko siya na-experience before.
Yes.
So, yun.
That's right. That's right. Pinagsisisihan mo ba na hindi ka naging piloto?
Actually, hindi na. Kasi feeling ko kasi lahat naman talaga may purpose eh. Feeling ko kung dito
Right.
talaga ako binigay ni God, edi dapat talagang gampanan ko na talaga to. Kasi hindi ko naman din expect talaga maging online seller ako kasi nga engineer ako eh. In profession talaga eh.
Yes.
So, yun.
Yes. So, 'di ba? Kumbaga, it also doesn't matter what your background is. 'Di ba?
Yes.
Um uh if you're meant to be something else, then minsan para I think sometimes it's just really proper timing, no, na parang sabi mo
Yes.
nga like you wanted to be a pilot, hindi natuloy, you became an engineer, you became an employee, tapos you just had, a coworker who was doing online business, and then dun
Yes.
ka na-encourage, and then from there, after a year, tama ba? After 1 year of doing online business sideline, that's the time that you decided to do online business full time, and it wasn't easy
Yes.
because the year, just 2 months after you resigned
Yes.
and decided to do online business full time, bigla namang nag-lockdown, bigla namang
Yes,
nag-pandemic,
tama.
'di ba? However, kumbaga parang you were fully decided on the path that you wanted to reach that time, and that's why the pandemic did not stop you. Kumbaga parang you shifted from
Yes.
local to doing international. You tried something else. And even if it did not work out, that still did not stop you from what do you call this? Blaming yourself na why did I do this decision?
Yes.
'Di ba? Kumbaga parang you just waited for the right timing, and then things became medyo naging okay na ulit locally. And look at where you are now, 'di ba? Already expanding your business in ano lang, 'di ba? More than 1 year pa lang.
Yes.
If you did full-time January, so kumbaga parang almost 1.5 years pa lang, di ba? But
Yes.
already in the process of expansion. And from a one-man team to a staff of 15, tama ba? 1.5?
Yes po. Apo, 1.5
Di ba?
yes.
Ang laking bagay nun. And kung masabi mo nga, kulang pa, di ba? Nagkataon lang na lockdown. So, medyo So, talagang it's just really proper timing for everything. Have you made mistakes along the way?
Yes, during e-com talaga marami akong mistake, eh. Pero thankful naman ako na kahit papaano natuto ako dun. Kasi before kasi lagi akong overstocking ako lagi, eh. So gano'n ako lagi, eh. Lagi akong order agad ng ganito, eh. 'Pag nakita ko pa lang first day, pumalo na agad, order agad ako bulk, eh. So yun yung talagang mistake
Ah,
ko na dapat talaga, control pa din. Talagang aralin mo pa rin
ah,
talaga yung product na yun bago mo siya i-order in bulk.
ah,
Pero yun nga, since para na lang hindi siya masayang, nag-come up na lang ako dun nga sa tinatawag natin na bundle. So binabundle ko na lang siya kahit di siya
yes.
naging mabenta. So yun yung
Ah,
yung mistakes na nagawa ko nung before. Talagang order talaga ako agad madami. As in container pa.
that's okay, 'di ba? From mistakes is where we learn din naman, 'di ba? And it's
Yes.
sa kumbaga parang technically you're still fresh pa eh. 1.5 years. I mean, if we would include, sabihin na natin sige 2.5 years you as an online entrepreneur, but it's a continuous learning, 'di ba?
Yes.
Yung iba nga, 'di ba? Lalo na yung mga traditional businesses, 'di ba?
Yes.
Now, definitely, they're learning online business pa lang, di ba? Tayo, maswerte tayo kasi nag-umpisa tayo
Yes.
online business na agad,
Agad.
di ba? But
Yes.
it's a continuous learning. It's a continuous learning. Was there any hard decision? What would you consider would be the hardest decision that you had to make for your business?
Before nun, dapat siguro yung hardest decision ko pero in a good way naman siya is yung expansion. Kasi dati talaga takot ako mag-expand, eh. Parang takot ako kapagka nag-expand ako, bumili ako ng ganito, nag-hire ako ng maraming tao, hindi ko ma-sustain. Hindi ko sila
Mm.
ma-providean monthly. So, yun yung hardest decision na ginawa ko talaga, which is good naman for us kasi nga kahit papaano, good yung result na ibinigay niya sa amin. So, tuloy-tuloy yung expansion niya, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung business, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung pagpo-provide namin ng marami pang produkto. Actually kasi magkakaroon na kasi kami sarili
That's
naming
good.
product, eh. So, yun.
That's good. That's good. Kumbaga parang yan naman yung mga part of the e-commerce evolution.
Yes.
'Diba? Usually pag yung business owner, branding na talagang na.
Yes.
Medyo scale up na talaga yan. Kasi 'di ba, we all usually start naman na DV products or China products, 'di ba? Usual retail, mga ganyan. Pero kumbaga parang you can really see that the business is really expanding and growing pag biglang nag-shift na sa branding. Ibang usapan
Yes.
na yun eh. 'Di ba? Kumbaga parang you're already building your, other than you being able to build your company already. Kumbaga nasa phase ka na ng okay, may own products. 'Di ba? Now
Yes.
that's what's gonna make you different from the rest already. So that's good. It's really good to know. Ayan. So I don't think we can do the fast talk kasi baka mamaya maghang na naman yung computer ko. So but this is my may question, last question for you. If you were to write a book about yourself, how would you name it and why?
Siguro ang ita-title ko sa book na yon is Trust the Process. So, yun nga, trust the process lang kasi hindi mo naman talaga siya malalaman ng biglaan lang eh. Siguro meron tayong sa online business, meron biglaan na maka-jackpot kagad ng one-time product mo. Pero
Yes.
andun pa rin dapat yung kung ikaya mo ba siyang i-sustain. Kasi always trust the process lang kasi step by step lang ba, wag kang mabibigla na bili ka agad ng ganito, kumbaga mag-provide agad ng ganito. So, always trust the process, kumbaga, step by step.
Yes, that is so true, 'di ba? Because if you trust the process, you are confident with what you can do. And I think being a business owner, you need to be able to trust yourself a lot. 'Di ba? Kasi hindi siya unlike if you're an employee, 'di ba? If you're employed by a company, regardless if you do well, if you don't do well, or if medyo mediocre performer ka lang, at the end of the day, you can expect salary, 'di ba? And you're not I mean, you may be responsible of staff or people, but you do not compensate them. Kasi 'di ba it's the company who's compensating them. But
Yes.
if you are the business owner, one, hindi ka naman swelduhan, 'di ba? Hindi ka walang nagpapasweldo sa'yo unless
Yes.
pasweldohin mo yung sarili mo.
Actually,
Second, you have staff, you have people, and you are fully responsible of these people. So, yun na yung nagpapasweldo ka na. So,
yes.
kumbaga talagang iba yung dapat na kumpiyansa mo sa sarili mo. Kaya yun nga yung sinasabi ko kanina, 'di ba? And I wish I was able to elaborate na you need to be able to love yourself. You need to be able to trust yourself. Kasi you are kumbaga parang sa pamilya, di ba? Like the dad is the head of the family. And it's the same thing. You are the head of your company. Your children are your staff. And stuff like that. Kumbaga, there is, parang sabi nga ni Uncle Ben kay
Yes.
Spider-Man, di ba? With great power comes great responsibility. And once you are in business, challenge will always be there, left and right. It's never a green pasture, not unless you reach that stability level na talagang everything is seamless, 'di ba? Kumbaga parang autopilot na lahat, wala na
Yes.
masyadong problema, may dumating mang problema, kayang-kaya ng magawa ng paraan yan. That will definitely come. But at the same time, for you to be able to reach that momentum, definitely trust yourself, love yourself, and really, kumbaga parang the confidence level that you need to have is really big. And the only way for you to be confident to do business is unless you, what you call this, you know your capabilities, diba? So, yan.
Yes.
Tama yung trust the process na yan. And minsan kasi, diba, sometimes what business owners tend to forget is just basically doing the basics, 'di ba? Minsan kasi sobrang dami ng strategy, nakakalimutan yung basic things. And yun nga, parang sabi nga ni Nathan, trust the process, and the process is very basic. So,
Yes.
kumbaga, let's not complicate things and let's not forget that. Ayan. Sayang di na
Yes.
tayo makapag-fast talk. Natatakot ako na
Yes
maghang
po.
yung computer ko ulit eh. But again,
Yes po.
thank you, Nathan. Nathan, thank you so much for
Thank you.
gracing us with your time. And finally, natuloy na din tayo, diba? So,
Yes,
I'm
tama.
really, really thankful people, for your time. Thank you for sharing your experiences. And I do hope that, your business would continue to grow, that you'll be able to hire more people, help more
Hindi.
people. Congratulations. Soon you'll be building your own brand, and congratulations to your business expansion. Continue to inspire people, continue to do well. Ayan. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for
ma'am.
everyone thank you. Yeah, thank you, Nathan. Thank you for everyone who watched us tonight. Tomorrow, guys, I'll see you again. We'll be with Roxanne Santo Tomas. Di ko lang, ay, teka lang. Tingnan ko kung ma-flash ko yung picture ni Roxanne. Ayan, napakagandang babe, 'di ba? Hot babe. At talagang very ano din to, from rags to riches. Yan naman ang story ni Roxanne. So, yan ang story natin for tomorrow. Again, Nathan, thank you for gracing
Thank
us
you,
with your
ma'am.
time
Thank you.
tonight. To everyone who watched, I hope that you learned something from Nathan's story, and I hope that you were inspired by his story. So, guys, stay home, stay safe, COVID is real. Enjoy the rest of the evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye, Nathan. Goodbye,
Thanks,
guys.
Mary.
Enjoy the rest
Bye.
of the night. Bye, everyone. See
Bye.
you tomorrow.